Hey everybody, it's Book of Catherine. I hope you're doing well. So anyway, I should have, well, I don't know. I'm taking this video because at the very beginning, sorry, not all the setup, a lot is going on because of coronavirus. A lot of different things are going on downstairs, so I'm taping this upstairs, and so I hope you can hear me clearly. The cats are freaking out. Anyway, but when I started this channel, I talked to you guys about my female problems, and that was a very large part of my health. I now understand why that is. If you have something wrong with your brain, if your brain is basically malfunctioning, if there are, shall we say, electrical firestorms going through your brain, or if you have scarring from a concussion on a very, very minute level, and your entire brain got concussed, like shaken, whatever it is, in a jar, it makes sense that all of your body systems would be affected. So it explains why I've been having issues with digestion. For example, when I get my right lumbar procedures on my spine, I just had my right lumbar ablation, and I have been dealing with my digestion coming back with my abdominal, my right abdominal digestive tract coming back into play. I used to think, oh, that's like my psoas, my right psoas coming back into play. It's not. Obviously, when I had my right psoas injected, that affected my digestive tract, but also my digestion tract has had to really, as I've been having these procedures, my digestive tract has had to learn how to work again, and slowly over time I've had to help it, as I've talked to you guys about working my digestive system. So like every system, my fascia, I've had to do taping with the tape, working with the fascia. All different types of systems have had issues, which is why they thought it was like an inflammatory disease. It makes sense, but they would say there's like no signs of an inflammatory disease. So all of that makes sense now. Why my reproductive systems would have an issue. And I told you at the very beginning of this channel in the summer of 2017 that they were thinking of taking my uterus out. My bleeding problems became such a problem that they were saying, look, this is the path we're on. They had tried every type of, they try to put you on birth control to start regulating your periods. They couldn't get me on any kind of birth control that would ever get my periods regulated. They would try me lower types of birth control. I would still, my body would just ignore it completely. One of the things that we learned later on through it was that once you get over a certain weight, like once your body is 15 pounds underweight, people talk about this all the time. If you go 15 pounds underweight, your body will stop menstruation or start going crazy with the menstruation cycles. But they don't tell you that this data is exactly the same for 15 pounds overweight. It goes, you can lose your menstrual cycle, or it goes crazy, your hormones go crazy. Well, apparently there's this other thing, I've talked about one other video, there's another checkpoint where at like 215, it depends on your BMI, where you are, and I'm kind of tall, so for me it was a bit higher. But there was at this point where I hit like 235, and for other women it's like 215. But it's this range of 215 and 235. If you go past that, like all bets are off and your body can go crazy. Like we're talking nuts. And for me, I think, I mean, it just went haywire. I was like, what are these pain things I'm having? I felt like I was having, I felt like everything just went insane in my body. I was having to do baths, sit baths. I can't even begin to describe to you the pain that I felt. I was already starting to lose mobility. I was already starting to have episodes in my leg. My leg would start to shake. I was waking up in the middle of the night. My right hip was starting to seize already. My right side was starting to go. But this other thing that was going, this like hormonal thing, it felt like hormones. I was getting, crying and angry, and it seemed to be coming around once a month or whatever, and then the cycles just went off. Like I would bleed for 30 days or 60 days or 90 days or some weird number of days it would just be on. I started keeping a chart, and you couldn't make hide nor hair, no sense of it or whatever. I didn't have anything that made sense. We're talking no sense whatever. No one could make sense of what started happening with my cycle at all. But one of the things that happened in the midst of all of this that I didn't realize until today, we started suspecting it. When you're in the middle of this much pain and feeling this much pain, I think I told you, as I've been doing physical therapy over the last year and getting these procedures, I'm like, I've started getting feeling back in my body. And I don't think I've talked to you guys about this part of it, but this is one of those things that you don't really notice, but I notice because I have a husband. But I was just like, I think, and I started telling my doctors as we started making lists of more things, I was like, I think I've lost all feeling in my chest. Like, I think I've lost feeling. The thing is I could tell your hands were here, but I was like, I can only tell because there's warmth. And then I was like, I don't know if that's just warmth. I can feel warmth, but I'm like, is that, like, I feel like there's a lot of sensation I'm missing. I feel like there's sensation I miss. Like, there's a whole bunch of sensation I felt like I'd lost. And I don't know what kind of nerves those are that I've lost, because there's some kind of sensation I know that I've been getting back. Like, I know I just got it in my right lung. Well, one of the things that's come back with my right lumbar procedures over the last 6 months, when I got the walking back, one of the things that came back after I started walking was I suddenly started getting my cycle again, and on a regular basis. I started getting a regular cycle again, which was just this thing that happened. We think that it has to do with getting developed muscles again, getting feeling back again, and also getting like a restored lumbar spine in there. Now, is it normal hormones? No, my weight isn't back in the range that it should be. The pain is still insane. And also, when it comes, I lose my legs. Like, my legs get stiff during that time. And we just guess that it's my period because it's like I get all numb. I can feel it from my ovaries down, like I'm just like, or from my lower back down. And I'm just like, I'm guessing. Well, today and just because I've been so open with you, I feel like I should be open with you. And I would want that from the people that I was following when, that I really wanted someone like me when I was sick, and just lost and no answers and no doctors, because for a long time there, you guys, I didn't have any doctors with any answers, and I really needed this. But today, after I came in the house from the surprise snow out there, I suddenly got feeling in the right side of like my right breast. I feel like, I'm like, cancer survivors talk about this all the time. Why can't I talk about this? Like, I feel weird saying breast. I've never talked about my breast before online. I got feeling in my right breast, and I didn't get feeling through the whole thing. It more than anything, it confirmed that I lost feeling in my breasts, because it's not the whole thing. It's just if like, okay, like say like this is my whole breast, I got it right here, like I'd say like a third of it, and just like through this sloop like here, like just that much. And what happened was it came in like that. It was like whoop, and I was like, I feel my breast. And what I felt was that heaviness, and men, you won't know anything about this, I don't think, but I felt this. Oh, hold on, my husband's coming. Yes, so it just came back, and the way I knew it was I was going to reach to dig out cat food before I came upstairs, and I went to go reach in for the cat food, and it was like pain, but it wasn't chronic pain. It was the pain of like the period pain, that heavy weight You ladies know what I'm talking about. When you are on a really, really bad period and your breasts feel like they're full of like magnesium, they're full of molten lead, and they're just super, super heavy, and like they're super, super tender, and you're just like nobody touched them. Like putting on a bra is severely painful. And I said, like, you get really, really bad periods when you're overweight, like over 15 pounds, which I still am over 15 pounds. I need to get rid of the skin and then get down. But for there's a whole bunch of stuff going on with that. But so my periods are still really bad. But I used to tell whether or not a period was bad by my breasts. But I realized I haven't felt this since California. Like, I haven't felt this since California. And I'm like, that explains why I have been like, is this a bad period? Is it? Is it a bad period? I can't tell. And I've been so confused. But you just don't know, because if you can touch your breasts and you feel warmth, you think that you have feeling in your breast. You don't know. But there was no stimulation. Like, that's the thing, is during, intimate times, there was like no, and you're just like, well, there's a time where I'd say like like I would not know there was touch at the outermost. Let's put it that way. Like, I wouldn't know I was being touched there, if that makes sense. I wouldn't know there's touch here, but you go further out there. I wouldn't know. I just wouldn't know. And that took a while to realize that, like, oh, there's just no, like, it's horrible to have to stop and be like, by the way, like, I am pretty sure, can you narrow that down? And yeah, I don't think I feel anything. That's a horrible, you don't want to have that conversation with your partner. And I remember finally having that conversation with my husband. That was a horrible conversation to have a couple years ago, and we added it in to tell my doctors. But, is one of many things, but we weren't sure. And they're like, well, what kind of feeling? We didn't know what to do. So anyway, I just got back this like branch of feeling into my right breast, just this, and it's not the whole breast, but like a third of my breast, and it's just like, oh, that heaviness, that heavy weight, that heavy pain, and it's exciting. It's exciting because it means that, oh my gosh, like, I'm getting feeling back. But it's also, I lost feeling, because I'm suddenly now aware that there is 1 2/3 nothing. Once I get it back, I'm literally like, oh, heavy weight pain, knowing that should be here, knowing that exists. It's down there. The water's here. There is super heavy, and I'm just like, like literally like, well, I feel nothing. Like, I absolutely feel nothing, knowing that it should be there. I'm much more aware of like the absolute empty void that's there. That's hard. So I'm like really trying to cope with like the joy and the sorrow, like the joy and the loss. So, and it also, just so you guys know, like, I cry a lot in my videos. Like, I look back at my videos, I'm like, gosh darn, I cry a lot. Yeah, that's that yanking down there. That right psoas, the triggering all the time. It triggers, like, we've talked to my pain specialists, right where this side does the constant seizing, my constant seizing, it's right on that right ovary. It's constantly at all times, like, I'm constantly all times shaking, and it's constantly yanking on that right ovary. So I'm constantly like in this, like, being released on these hormones. I feel like I'm constantly trying to control my temper and my temperament, and I feel like I'm on this roller coaster, and I try not to like put my friends through it. And I just talked about this on Twitter. I was like, I'm finally talking about my pain. Like, I'm trying to talk about my pain more, and it's led to very good things, like noticing that, like, even now I had a really bad episode this morning, and it's still numb through here. There's still parts in here and here that it is still stiff. The episode has not released yet. There's still parts in here and right through here it hasn't released yet. It hasn't actually, if I really move it, it'll move, but it doesn't want to move. It's physically painful. It's still cramping, basically. It's still like tight. It's still kind of seizing, and it's numb from the episode. I wasn't even aware of that before, and I'm aware of that now because I'm talking more about my pain, which I didn't want to do before because I was hormonal all the time, and I was just like, I don't want to put everyone through it, and what can they do about it? But I'm trying to be better now about talking about it, and maybe that's because the hormones are calming down, or maybe they're not, I don't know. But anyway, that's what's going on. I'm like, oh, I don't even know how I'm going to title this. Like, I got feeling in my right breast, which means I did lose feeling in my chest. Like, I did lose feeling, which we've told my doctors, we're pretty sure I lost feeling, but like, this is it. Like, I'm very aware. I'm like, oh, I remember this feeling, that horrible, horrible feeling of having a really, really bad period, that horrible thing that women have, like, but then I guess you miss it once it's gone. Like, once you're aware of what you've lost, you're like, oh my God, it's bad. I so want it back. And I can only assume that it's my right lumbar, getting the right lumbar ablation. That's what's gaining feeling back in there. As pain goes down, I'm regrowing pathways, I'm doing more PT. And hopefully these new tests that I will be going to be doing in the next 2 weeks will lead to more of this, hopefully. So I'm just being really good about what I learned last fall. I'm being really good about resting and staying in and not going out. And I'm really not. I'm saving up to go to vacation and just staying in. It's hard. It was not easy. I really messed up at the beginning of this year, but it's a learning curve and I'm trying. So, yeah. Anyway, I really hope that helps someone. I know it would have helped me when I was lost and didn't have any doctors that were helping me. I really hope that helps if you don't have anyone that's helping you. But yeah, it's amazing. I wonder how many different motor nerves there are, or how many different sensory nerves there are. I need to start studying that up again, because it's clear that I have lost very specific sensory nerves, and others I still have. Like, I can feel the heat of my hand. I know I can feel pressure. I know my hand's there, but I guess I can't really feel all of my hand. I think your mind fills a lot of it in. Like, I'm realizing my mind is filling in. Like, it's not feeling the whole hand, it's filling in. It's filling in. It associates, it's filling. Like, it's actually just filling here, and it filled the rest of it in. It filled this in. It was like, oh, so it must be here, because it's looking at the hand. The mind's pretty powerful. Anyway, so I'm going to go talk to my friends about that and go process. So I love you, and I hope that helps somebody. Thank you guys, because I would never have gotten feeling back in my right breast if it weren't for you and your donations. Quite frankly, you know that's true. Your donations and your support, I never would have gotten that. So thank you so much. And you did it with just $1 a month. Well, some of you did more than that, and some of you did less, and it all helped. It all got me here. I've seen 6 specialists and 6 doctors in 6 weeks. Every single one of those. Someone asked, like, how does the doctors add up? And I'll tell you, for those who are on the circuit understand, but let me show you how it adds up. Okay, so I have one doctor, like my main doctor, right, who has to give out the referrals because insurance company wants referrals. Okay, then there's my neurologist, who just does the central nervous system. And then my neurologist is like, oh, we think it might be this. Well, I want to be sure about that, so you're going to need a brain scan for that. Okay, now you need a brain scan. So now all of a sudden so you need a brain scan. Okay, but to get a brain scan, you have to get a physical. So now I have to go back to my regular doctor to get a physical in order to get the MRI. So now I've just done my regular doctor to get the referral to the neurologist, to get my neurologist to refer me to an MRI, who sent me back to my regular doctor to get a physical, and the physical sends me to the MRI, and the MRI goes ahead and puts me under, and then that MRI test goes over to my neurologist. My neurologist sees us again, goes over the test results, and says, I think that you should go to this place, sends us to another clinic, and that clinic says, oh, meantime, you guys have got me so healthy that I'm able to do things like get my eyes checked and my teeth checked, which I was not able to do before. I was not able to sit in a chair before, without seizing, and I wasn't able to get my eyes checked with lights in my eyes without seizing. So you guys, your donations were enabled me to get my teeth checked and my eyes checked, which I was not able to do without going into an episode. So you guys gave me the gift of basic, like taking me out of third world conditions into the light. That's why I like to call you light bearers, because you brought me into the light. That's the thing, is that, like, you know, money can't buy you happiness. Like, you can, like, it just, you guys are incredible. I can't thank you enough. I cannot thank you enough. So anyway, if you'd like to be a part of the team that is doing these incredible things and helping me grow, because obviously amazing things are happening over here, a dollar a month does it. Like, not a dollar a month. No, a dollar a month. A dollar a month does it. So just a dollar a month down below, and you're good. Or $12 a year if you want to pay $12 and be done. So yeah, that's cheaper than Netflix, and you get a whole lot for it. You'll save a whole lot. I give amazing and that pays for all the research that I do online, because I write a lot online. I write a lot on Twitter. All right, so I love you guys so much. Mwah. Talk to you soon. Bye. Link is down in the description box. See you then. Bye.